Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to the Adventure Incorporated podcast. I am your Dungeon Master. My name is Anthony Reed. Oh boy, I should have checked what episode this was going to be before I started this. This is episode 75 and part of the Oracle story arc. We're going to move on to another player for this one first, what is it? What am I trying to say? For this solo episode, and I'm very excited about it. I think you will be too. I do want to say a big thank you to our patrons, patreon.com/adventureinc, without whom this show would not be able to do the things that it does. It would not be the show that it is. And so we are hugely thankful for all of them. They are amazing. And I also want to take this opportunity to shout out friend of ours, Dennis Robinson. Dennis has a Kickstarter going on right now for Chapter 2 of Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey, which is his graphic novel. So head over to lycanbook.com, Lycanbook, LYCANBOOK.com, and back his Kickstarter, get Chapter 2, and you can watch the story unfold. And I'm sure there's links around there too if you missed the first one, because you don't want to. It's not, don't miss it. So head over there, check it out, be part of the experience, be part of the story as it unfolds, and show Dennis some love, even if he is from Botched. Let's get started. Nobles and farmers, knights and scoundrels, gather round to hear a tale of excitement and mystery. Brave adventurers facing grave dangers. Belroth, the ranger.
She's a Grimalkin, but that's understood. No pets allowed, even though she's not a pet. I will wait outside. Everyone, if anyone needs anything, I am outside.
Skarpin, the cleric.
Should I just try and snipe them from over here?
Yeah, okay. I did say they were as good as dead. I would hate for my, to break my word on our first contract as Adventure Incorporated.
Ellori, the bard.
We would want you to leave this warehouse.
He points behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Church.
Oh, sorry. We want you to leave this church.
ReedDeeran, the wizard.
He say you no worship Shattered Fang.
Yeah, man, he's super wrong. We love Broken Tooth, Shattered Fang, man.
Prepare yourselves, for these are the tales of Adventure Incorporated. Your eyes open. It is a bright day above you. Already the sun is somewhat high in the sky. It's higher than you are typically accustomed to out on the road. You usually have to get up pretty early to get back, traveling once again with this small band that you have come together with. You and, of course, your friend, Adra, who has been with you since you left your village. This morning is different, though, because today they are going to perform the play that you have written. And so you've stayed in the same place. This is pretty uncommon as you have been traveling with these mendicants. And this is, so this is a big day. You roll over and Adra is there, also sleeping. It was a late night.
Wake up.
What?
I just had the most bonkers dream. It was wild. It was like I was actually there, and the times when a dream sticks with you. I was fighting demons. I had friends who weren't you. I hadn't written any stories yet, but I was making one as I went, and I met the Agrestal spirit. I've got to write all this down.
Ellori, who are these friends that weren't me?
One of them was like me, but not like me. One of them was remember the turtle I met a while back. Remember the one that you said, Ellori, you would be absolutely bonkers if you run away with that half-dead turtle?
Oh yeah. Oh, you ran away with him in your dream?
I ran away
about that turtle?
I was dreaming about that turtle. One of them was really cute, but he had a lot of crazy ideas. One of them was very bad at storytelling, but he was pretty smart, so we all kind of like let him tell his stories because eventually he got to saying something good. Oh, there was a cat!
Oh boy, I don't know if the mendicants are going to go for a cat.
I feel like if they got to know Freya, they would.
They always say that when they're writing plays, they don't want to work with children or animals.
I know, that's the number one rule, but I just feel like the cat, maybe I'll cut the cat. Maybe I'll just cut the cat. Oh gosh, it felt so real. And it's one of those things where like, I know I'm going to have to write that story one day. I'm going to have to write it into a play. And it's going to be one of those things that's like, all these things happen and no one can even believe that they're real because they'll be like, this is too fantastical a story. It takes us too far out to the real world with demons and time travel and cats.
Yeah, one of the mendicants is walking by your little makeshift tent you have here. I don't think it's an enclosed tent. You guys just have like a little setup that they've helped you with as you've traveled with them. It's like a little canopy, and you're sort of open to the camp a little bit. And one of the mendicants walks by. He says, "This sounds like a fantastic story you're telling."
It was this dream I just woke up from, and I feel like I've lived 1,000 lifetimes in it.
Well, prepare yourself for that story, because we will need something new to do when we arrive at the next town.
I'll have to start getting it down on paper, but for now I gotta focus on tonight.
Tonight is well in hand. Your time to relax and enjoy what is coming.
Relax? This is the opening night of my first play ever. How do you relax at a time like that?
Well, you will see. We have been preparing for this for weeks. I think we are going to be quite ready when the Duke comes to see the show.
I feel like there's never anything that is actually ready. Like you say, you're actually ready, but you've got props half done. Your actors are half dressed. You know that Francis doesn't know any lines.
That's what we mean by ready.
Not knowing your lines? I know all your lines.
He'll be
I know
ready
all
by the
of
time
everyone's lines.
He'll be ready by the time we begin. It's always like this.
How do you live like this with the stress?
You really don't have a choice.
My grandma always says you have the craziest dreams when you're the most stressed out. So I guess that must be what's happening here.
She is my favorite character in the play.
She's my favorite character in my life.
Well, this will be very interesting. The Duke is, we'll say, a discerning palate when it comes to plays, but I think that we have one here he will enjoy very greatly.
I really hope so, because, I had wanted to put the dog in, and I feel like the Duke really would have loved a dog.
No animals.
And then it's really missing the flavor, having the goat in the second half, that just would have stepped it up like maybe that's why I was dreaming about the cat being the most important part of our whole adventure, because I'm missing the dog in Act 1 and I'm missing the goat in Act 2.
I think we have a solution for the goat.
Oh?
Yes, we're going to have the newest member of the troupe play the goat.
Oh. Well, bring him over. I want to hear his bleating.
Okay. And he wanders off, his mask hanging in place as he goes. And he brings over one of the younger mendicants. It's a small group of mendicants. It's only 10 people.
Anthony, do mendicants have names? They wouldn't identify themselves with names, would they?
Not to you.
Yeah, okay.
They have not shared names with you. Even you traveling with them, right? They have not shared names with you if they have.
Okay. Great. Ellori has named them all.
Okay.
So she will refer to them with names, even she's made them up.
Okay, of course.
Great.
So this is one of the ones you've traveled with. You've seen him before. He's been here the whole time. It's not like he just existed,
Right.
They didn't just add
okay.
him. And he comes over and he's like, I'm playing the goat tonight, and they said you wanted to hear my bleat.
Oh, yes, Madison. Go ahead and give me your best goat sound.
Meh.
Oh. I'm pleasantly surprised. That was pretty good. Honestly, have you ever met a goat before, Madison?
I've seen a goat, but not very close.
Okay, well, you do a great goat.
I did hear the goat, so
Yes.
that's what I'm worried though, because like if I was an angry goat, I would go meh, and then if I was a happy goat, I would go meh, and I don't really know the difference between the two.
Oh,
I find it hard to emote as a goat, is what I'm trying to say.
I think that, you're really gonna the spirit of performance is gonna move you, and you'll really feel it in the moment. You'll feel that happiness or anger come out through your goat self.
Okay, what I need from you then, I need you to just like quickly throw an emotion at me, and I will try to match it with the goat.
Okay, I can do that. Joy,
Meh.
frustration,
Meh.
sadness,
Meh.
surprise,
Meh.
fear.
Meh.
Like you're doing the first play you've ever written and it's being performed for the Duke and Francis doesn't know his lines and there are only some props that don't have finished propness and there are costumes that are half done and everything's going to heck and you just had a wild dream but your grandma says that this is the thing that'll make her proud and you really, really want it to go well. That was pretty good, Madison.
Okay. Well, if you're happy, then I think we can make the goat work. I have a couple of goat skins that we sewed together that I will wear over my back, and I will crawl around on all fours, and I will bleat accordingly.
You're gonna do great. This is giving me real, I don't know if you've seen all of the budget Milky White from Into the Woods. So they'll do TikToks or Twitter threads or whatever. One of them was just a Mylar balloon from Party City of a cow, and they just brought that with them around on stage the whole time. But my favorites are the ones who are that really eager kid in high school who's playing Milky White in just a white sweatsuit and just...
You have one moo in the whole show, and then you have to fake die at some point. This is it. This is your life.
That's all I could think of during that exchange.
Amazing. He is the eager one, so he bounces off happily that you have approved of his bleeding. And the morning continues on as it has. You're set up now just outside of the city of Verena. This is obviously a small troop. It doesn't get billing deep into the city, and it's hard to get out there. But the Duke is coming, and that is exciting. It seems that one of the members of the Mendicants has some sort of connection that means that this local Duke will be there. And so you guys have set up for that. What is Ellori going to do for the morning leading up to the play? I mean, everything is pretty much out of your hands in that they don't let you touch any of the props or the costumes or any of that. Mm-hmm. Anytime you try, the Mendicants are like, no, this is our job. We've got this under control. And you look around, it's just chaos. It's a disaster. But they won't let you interact.
So I really can put myself in this position. I am going to throw back a couple Red Bulls, pace a lot. No, Ellori is doing her best job at she's trying her best to let the day go. So she is going to spend as much of it with Adra, who will produce a whole slew of other problems for her to deal with, so that she's using her energy on something rather than just sitting and waiting.
Okay. And Adra does. I mean, and most of them are personal problems, right? That's sort of Adra's thing. She stumbles into town early in the morning, and by the time she's back at before midday, she's already telling you about all of these issues that have come across in town. She got in a fight with somebody in the bazaar about some of the ridiculous prices this guy was charging, so she just took a handful of nuts. More out of spite than anything else, but then the guy chased her and they knocked over another cart, and that cart spilled all over the ground, trampled a bunch of fine silks, and so then that person was upset. I mean, it really just spirals out as her story unfolds for you. And I mean, the whole while she is, and this idiot, you wouldn't believe just the stupid, the people I ran into in the street here. Verena is maybe the worst place I've ever been.
No, you said that last time when we were right outside Moghamar. You said, this is the worst place I've ever been. But I think you were really saying that because you were in mountains of debt and definitely going to be arrested.
Well, and that may happen here too. I'm just saying that, they've really got some backwards policies here in Verena. I mean, if we were back home in Naya and I was haggling with someone for their goat and they were being unreasonable with the price of the goat, and so I took the goat and then I tripped over someone else's goat, they're not going to say like, oh, you owe me for the goat. They'd be like, oh, you rascal, but we're not going to get thrown in jail.
No, but you gotta remember, Naya does things so much different, and that's why we have to go out and get our stories. That's why we have to leave. It's why they tell us to leave, because they know that it's a paradise, that not the whole rest of Onmaneth doesn't work like that. And you gotta go by other places' rules when you're in other places.
No, we should make other places go by our rules, because they're better rules.
I think that when you have as few people in a society as you do in Naya, I mean, how many of us are there? A couple hundred? Look around. Look around, Aedra. There are thousands of people just in this small little bazaar. Like, that's just one tiny space in a much bigger space, You can't, if you've got hundreds of thousands of people trying to go by, oops, sorry about your goat rules, you're gonna have chaos.
I'm just saying the oops, sorry about your goat rules, really, they're applicable across the board. There's a reason we use them,
No, I do.
And she pops a nut
think
in her mouth, and she's like, I mean, there are some good things about here. I mean, there's things we can get here you can't get back in Naya, but would you like to try a nut?
No, thank you. I refuse to participate in your thievery.
She says, suit yourself, and then she just eats another nut.
Aedra, I understand that, the rest of New Merita could deal with a lot more kindness and oops, sorry about your goat mentality. But the rules have been put in place by people who are trying to corral hundreds of thousands of people into having some common sense. And yes, sometimes they go a little overboard. And yes, some kindness would be appreciated sometimes. But it's just not realistic. And I think we just have to remember that and treat them with kindness, even if they're not treating it to us.
I think it's personal. I think that's against me.
You think it's personal because you've stolen from everyone from here to Naya.
Well, but it's unreasonable. It's ridiculous what they were asking for. They didn't deserve it.
Why didn't you give them what you did have?
I did.
And take the amount of nuts that got you.
I did. I didn't have nothing to give them. I gave them everything I had, and then I took what I needed.
Well, we're moving through the place tonight. Anything else you got that's extra due at the end of it, then hopefully we'll be able to settle from that.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to a different part of town because I'm real worried about going back to the one I was just in.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you not steal or get in a fight?
I shouldn't have said yeah so quickly.
Can you promise to try?
Try, yes, I can try.
Okay.
The really let down. Okay.
All right.
All of a sudden, you notice a lot of people running very fast through the camp. A lot of the mendicants, they've started. There's a panic has arisen amongst them as they've been working on the pieces of this play. You look over the pavilion that you've set up for this is nearly done, to your surprise. But there is now suddenly there's something going on because everyone's real panicked all of a sudden.
Ellori runs like towards where everyone's running from.
Yeah, and so basically they're all running around, so it's a scatter shot. But you run, into the camp, and yeah, they're all just like frantic now. Everything like one of the mendicant in charge walks through and he says, "These chairs will not do. We must start again, and we need a bigger space over there for the Duke and his guests."
Bartholomew, what is happening?
We just received word, Ellori, that the Duke will not be visiting the play alone tonight. He is bringing the Viscount and the Viscount's grandmother.
We're getting a grandma to my play about my grandma? Like, I know it's not really about my grandma, but like everything's inspired by my grandma. Oh, I've got to go right. What do you think she's like? Do you think she has all of the advice and wisdom that my grandma does?
Well, by all accounts, she is essentially the one behind the throne here in Verena. Her grandson is not the most competent leader. But we won't be saying that tonight during the play.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you should whisper something like that. What can I do to help?
Well, I think it might be best maybe if we rewrite some parts of the play. The references to the grandmother are great, but maybe if we made her a little more approachable.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. My grandmother's the nicest person on the entire Almaneth.
Well, I think maybe a little too much. Yeah, it strains belief in this part of the world. Perhaps to make her a bit more approachable for this audience, we need to make her more stately, more, maybe a little colder.
Oh, I wouldn't want to disrespect my grandma like that.
I don't want to disrespect your grandma either, but I am afraid we may disrespect the fair lady who will be joining us tonight.
Okay, I guess I could be inspired by the one time my grandma said, "Ellori, don't eat the cookies before your parents get home." Like, that was pretty cold.
Okay, yeah. I would say that the Dowager Soralia is known for, a bit of a ruthless streak. You know what, Ellori, don't worry about it. We'll just maybe bring some of the performance through, to better match the attitude of the Dowager.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. I want to say I trust you. I'm going to go write a letter to my grandma and just let her know that this is happening.
And then I have a task for you.
Oh, okay.
I need you to go into town and gather some last-minute supplies, some things that we need to make this a little more formal than we had intended.
Like better costumes than the ones that you've got?
He looks back and he says, "That's already in the works, yes. But I need a couple of bolts of silk so that we can fancy the place up a little bit.
Okay.
And then also some fresh-cut flowers.
Okay.
I can send you with a runner from the Duke who has told us, carried this information for us, and he'll have a good idea of maybe what you can do to help."
Okay, yeah, that's great. I'll jot a note to my grandmother on the way, and I'll send it from the town. So I'll head off.
Okay. Elton is just at the side there. You can meet with him. He is from the. He's an associate of the Duke's, and he will help you.
Okay. Thanks, Bartholomew.
Of course.
Hey, are you Elton?
Yeah, the figure at the edge of town, or at the edge of the encampment, he's a little rotund, and he wears like very fancy colors of the Duke, right? Like livery. And he turns, and he says, "Why, yes, I am Elton. It's a pleasure to meet you."
Hey, Elton, I'm Ellori Rialtonum. Can I just use your back for one quick second?
He looks at you on the side. He says, "Why, of course. Go right ahead." And he turns and displays his back to you.
Okay, so she's gonna jot down a note to her grandma, and it says, "Dear Grandma, they want me to make you mean in my play, because someone very fancy is coming, and I am sorry if it portrays you in any light other than the amazing, wonderful grandma that you are. I love you, love Ellori."
He says,
And she signs it, folds it up, and "Thank you so much, Elton."
"Oh, of course, no problem. So we are supposed to go and get some materials, as I understand it."
Yes, we're supposed to get silk and flowers.
"Well, I happen to know some great places where we can do that in the town, in the city, of course."
Okay, well, I will follow you.
And he leads you into the city a little ways, and he says, "Well, what colors are you thinking for tonight?"
Oh, Bartholomew didn't give me colors. What colors do you think the Viscount and his grandma like?
Well, we probably want to avoid emerald as a color because it is a rival Duke's color that we would want to try to avoid.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think pretty much anything would be, acceptable. But it's really up to you. This is an opportunity for you to share a little bit of yourself with them.
Okay, let's do pink.
Pink it is. Let's see where we can find some of that. And he takes you, you walk past what is clearly like a tailor. He looks at the sign and he keeps walking. He walks to the next one. He looks up and he says, "Maybe it'd be best if I just go in and get some of this for you. And you wait right here."
No, okay.
And he steps into the shop. And around you, this is Ellori's first time to Verena, the city. Although you feel like you've been here before, with the dreams flashing through your mind still. But the city is massive and alive. And the further you go in, the older the buildings get, but also the more crowded everything is, the more people there are. The streets are just, you were talking about 200 people, 300 people in Naya. There's 200 to 300 people in one direction on the street here. It's just sprawling every direction, people and buildings and everything like that. How does Ellori adjust to something like this?
She is overwhelmed and joyful. I know that Bartholomew is worried about it, but this is exciting. This feels like good, big, exciting news, and seeing so many people and watching so many people, and for someone who collects stories, seeing this volume would be overwhelmingly stimulating.
So you're watching these two people who are young and clearly in some kind of in a relationship, and they're having a discussion. You can't hear their words, but you're watching their body language, and you're watching this conversation progress between them, where you can kind of tell that the woman is not as into it as the guy is. And things are going, it's good drama when you get tapped on the shoulder, and it's Elton, and he has 8 bolts of silk, and it's a vibrant pink, and he says, "Do you think this will do for you?"
That's beautiful. I don't know if I've ever seen such beautiful fabric in my whole life.
Well, then we are one step of the way there. What was the other thing you said you needed?
Flowers.
Flowers could be a little difficult. Well, why don't you come with me and we'll see what we can find.
Elton, I'm coming with you. I have nowhere else to go. My whole day is following you today.
As you walk, Elton is leading you on. He's telling you about various things in the city. He's like, that there is the first place that they built a great tavern, and the tavern was supposed to be the biggest one in the city, have the biggest venue for traveling minstrels and bards, but that place burned down. It caused a little fire, burned a whole bunch of the places in the area down.
Oh no.
And, yeah, they replaced it with a chain tavern. Not my favorite place to go, but over here you'll see this building over here is where they wrote there used to be a place where people stayed, and they wrote a treatise in there that really reshaped the way that the government of Verena worked hundreds of years ago.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's a little piece of history for you. And he just seems incredibly knowledgeable about all of the places here, and he's sharing that wisdom with you as he travels. But you do notice that you are walking by a lot of flower shops. Just walking by deeper into the village, or into the city. Mm-hmm. And he stops you and he says, do you see that up there, Ellori?
Yes.
And he points to the great dome that is overlooking the city. He said, that is the palace here in Verena. It's called the Great Dome. And it is... Well, I think we might get some inspiration if we go and take a look at it. Let us know exactly what kind of flowers they would like.
Elton, I have a question for you. I'm happy to have this conversation while we're walking up to that great dome, but can you tell me who named it? Because I just feel like maybe this is me being like a writer and like a storyteller, but like I feel like art shouldn't be so descriptive with its naming conventions. Like I can see that that's a great dome, but what if they called it the dome of mystery, and then everyone walking by would be like, what's the mystery? And they would be more enticed to go see it instead of being like, yes, a great dome.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be like, wow, that dome is so great. I think it's supposed to be more like, it is large in size.
Well, yes, of course, and that's even more descriptive. That's even less exciting, because like at least with great being like better than good, I could say what makes that dome so great. But like I understand it's a big old dome. Yeah, but imagine if I said to you that place is called the Large Dome. That wouldn't be nearly as like, at least the Great Dome is better than that. I suppose, but like barely. You could call it you could call it Roethlisberger. I don't know what I don't know that that would be particularly helpful either, because then what if let's just say you knew a guy down the street and that was his name. Like, I know a wild name for a person to have, but if it was their name, then you'd be like, hey, meet me at the Roethlisberger, and you'd be like, okay, but which one? No one will ever misconstrue what you're trying to say when you say, what if they build another great dome? Well, I think that if they built another great dome, they'd probably get executed. That's why no one has tried. Oh. Right, this is the palace. You can't build a greater dome than the Great Dome. That would not be okay. Maybe, you know what might happen? Maybe they just move the palace to this one, call it the Great Dome, and call that one the Lesser Dome. Older, but lesser. I will say, okay. I will say, the Great Dome has been called the Great Dome for a very, very long time. Like, I don't think there is anyone living today who knew of the dome as being called anything but the Great Dome. Well, probably because of the fading, right? Well, even beyond that, though, I mean, I don't think anyone alive, well, that's true, I can't be sure, but there are, like, rumors and stories
that say the Great Dome existed before, like nobody built the Great Dome. It's just always been there.
Oh. Wow.
They say the architecture is ancient. It's sort of one of the mysteries of Verena.
Honestly, the mysterious Great Dome does sound way more exciting.
Okay, so let's go to this mysterious Great Dome and take a look.
Yes, let's.
But it's called the Great Dome. Don't
no,
say
I won't.
mysterious
I
to
won't
other
say
people.
mysterious. I won't. I wouldn't.
Other people
disrespect
expect you
it.
to say the Great Dome.
Yo, of course. I just feel like I could trust you with that conversation.
So he leads you to the Great Dome, and he says, so this is where the Viscount lives, or at least in theory. We as we understand it about Viscount Horton is that he has many places that he calls home in the city, and some outside the city, and he just sort of bounces around to whatever one he feels is important for him in that moment. I think he probably spends a lot less time here than most Viscounts in the past have.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Like he's got a life of adventure.
Yeah, it's more of a life of excess, if you want to be honest. It's more of a life of leisure that happens to take place in many places around the city.
Well, I'm sure he worked very hard to become the Viscount, so maybe he deserves it. That's nice for him.
And I will not disillusion you of that. That seems like a great thing to think about a leader of the city. And he says, now I think, I don't know, looking at you look like someone who's maybe seen some adventure yourself.
Oh, I've seen so much adventure. I left home, and ever since then, it's been one adventure after another. My friend gets in a lot of trouble, honestly, so a lot of my adventure is trying to get her out of trouble. But then we met the Mendicants, and we've been watching their plays. Then I wrote my own play, which you'll see. Are you coming tonight?
Oh yes, I will be there at the behest of the Duke.
Well, so you'll see it tonight. That's my first play ever that I've written that's being performed. Of course, I've written so many plays my whole life since I was a little girl, but the only one that heard those plays is my pet goat.
Ah, yes. I can understand why maybe the pet goat would not be the most appreciative audience for whatever
he
plays
loved
you were putting
them.
on. Oh. Okay, well, that's good. Look, I think we should maybe, it would be a good way for us to understand the Viscount and maybe understand the Dowager and how we could best serve their needs with the flower choices we make today. If we'll just hide these bolts of fabric. Actually, you know what? No, perfect. I'll take 4, you take 4. Then we have our hands a little bit free as we walk, but we'll just head into the Great Dome and look around a little bit and see if there's anything that inspires a flower choice for us.
That sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah. So just hold out those things. I find it's very easy for us to get in there and look around. There won't be a problem. And so you just hold on to these and let's go.
Okay.
Steph.
I can't. Literally, Ellori's such a dummy. Like, honestly, oh my god, I'm like, the warning bells right now are like. But nope, Ellori would just freaking go.
Okay. So Elton and Ellori.
God damn it.
Elton and Ellori walk past the front doorway of the, you walk up in through the gate. There are guards around. They see you, but, you're carrying these bolts of cloth and they just let you go through, as you head into the Great Dome. It's a very large palace. For people at home. Steph's so angry with me right now.
I'm not angry. I am just. If I could explain it in the bleat of a goat, it would be meh.
I think that's fair. Makes sense.
All right, let's break into this frickin' palace. Let's do it.
Elton takes you into the front door of the palace, and he says, "Oh, let's go up these stairs here. I think that might help us a little bit."
Okay.
And he walks up this winding staircase that heads up to the second floor. And about four doors down the hallway, he stops and he says, "I bet you we'll find exactly what we're looking for inside this room right here."
Oh, is this where they keep their flowers?
This is the conservatory for the Dowager, I believe. And so there'll be plenty of flowers in here that will tell us exactly what she likes to see. And everybody knows that Cuthbert, he lowers his voice because now you're actually in the palace. And he says, Cuthbert, he's not the one you need to impress, right? Okay? It is definitely the Dowager you need to impress.
It's his grandma, yeah.
Yeah, so why don't we check in here, and I think we'll probably find something that we'll be able to impress her quite a bit with.
Okay.
And so he says, after you, and he points toward the door.
She pushes the door open, or goes right in.
You push the door open and into the study. It is a small study area, a desk, a chair, and like walls of books. The walls are just lined with books along a bookshelf that's pushed up against each of the walls. He steps in, he goes, well, this is not the room I was thinking, but look at those lovely flower arrangements by the window. And there's like a vase that has like, just like 3 flowers sticking out of it. It's like not really anything. He says, go take a look. See if you can, if those flowers will, if they inspire anything for you.
Yeah, of course. They're beautiful. Look at all the books in here. There must be so many different kinds by so many different people.
He says, oh, yeah, absolutely. He pulls a drawer on on the desk, and he like roots in there for a second as you're talking to him. He's like, oh, yeah, so many books.
Okay.
You hear a voice from outside the door. Hey, what's going on in there? And a guard steps into the doorway.
Oh, hi. I'm Ellori Rialtonum. I wrote the play that the Viscount and his grandma are seeing tonight, and Elton was just bringing us here to look at some flowers that the Dowager Viscountess?
Yeah, sure. That would work.
Yeah. We're just looking at some flowers that grandma might like.
Who?
Oh, the Viscount's grandma.
No, who was in here with you?
Elton.
You turn and look, he's gone. He had led us to the grandmother's sitting room. Oh, he must have gone out to find that room instead. He said this was the wrong one when we came in. Yeah, you're coming with me. And the guard grabs you by the arm, and he leads you out and just brings you down the stairs, down into the basement of the palace, toward the dungeons. And he drags you through, and he says, I caught this one up in the office of the Dowager, rooting around in the books. And one of the other guards is like, well, that means we've got a perfect cell for her. And they like open up.
No. I'm sorry. I was here with someone from the Viscount. Elton, you at the front. They let us come in, and so you can ask them that we were together, and he works for the Viscount.
The guards look at each other and they're like, we don't know an Elton.
Could it be short for something? Like Elton Roney.
Clang! The door to the to the dungeon shuts with you in it. Yeah, and Ellori, you're now
What the shit?
locked in a dungeon. There's not much in this room. A couple of stone walls, and then the iron bars in front of you. A small chamber pot, and a bed that does not look very comfortable.
Well, this is a predicament I've gotten myself into, isn't it? She like looks around. She's gonna kind of like she's gonna explore a little bit. See like
Pick up those dice, Steph, and give me an investigation check.
ooh, good thing I got him out.
Told you might use them.
6. Give me anything. Say yes.
Yeah, it's real dirty in here.
Oh no.
That's
Did they
pretty much
leave
all you
the
got.
Did they leave the fabric with her? Or is it like did she set it down up in the she probably set it down on a table?
I think
up
they
in the
probably
office.
confiscated it. Like
Okay.
it's they put it in a chest down here in the dungeon area, but like they basically took everything that you had of any value. Right. So I don't know, Ellori probably still had an instrument, right? She probably still had her ukulele umbrella.
Umbrella, yeah.
That is now locked up. And she had the bolts of cloth.
And her chakram is definitely her chakram tambourine is definitely gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I don't know why Adra insists on getting put in cells like this all the time. This is not enjoyable. She is going to
Give me a perception check.
okay. 6.
What is she gonna do?
She is going to sit on the cleanest place that she can find. And she is going to see in hearts when the lights are low, stars above us will start to glow. And her dancing lights are going to be like fairy twinkle lights, and she's just going to make them dance above her and watch them while she tries to think of a way out of this.
Little white, like twinkle lights.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. You hear like a psst.
She looks up at the lights. Uh-huh.
Psst. Over here. Psst. Give me a perception check again.
12.
Okay, that's enough though. This
Okay.
it sounds like it's coming from under your bed.
Oh no, she jumps up.
Psst. Ellori.
She's gonna like get on her hands and knees and peek under the bed, but like from across the room because she's scared.
There's like a tiny crack between two of the stones. The mortar is missing. And you can see an eyeball. And then it goes to like a mouth, and it's like, Ellori, is that you in there?
Yes, Elton. Why? Where did you go?
Oh, man, it's a real shame you got caught. A real shame. But,
Got caught doing what? We're not doing anything wrong.
oh, I mean, we were stealing.
What?
Uh,
What were we stealing? Ideas for flowers? They can put you in jail for stealing ideas.
Oh, Ellori. Oh, Ellori. No. My dear, listen, I'm sorry you got wrapped up into this. But do know that when we overthrow the government in Verena, it was your contribution.
Elton, do not work for the Viscount.
Oh, no, I do not work for the Viscount, no.
Elton, you lied to me.
Let me introduce myself officially. I am, my name is the King of Thieves.
The king of... Remember earlier when I was talking talking about names should be better than just descriptions.
Yes, well, in my line of work, it seems it's a much easier thing to assume a role than it is to assume a name. Something I can imagine may be difficult for you to understand. But listen, I feel real bad about this, kid. I do. So there's not much I'm going to be able to do for you, but maybe there's someone you'd like me to take a message to let them know that you're in trouble, and maybe they can come and rescue you. Yeah?
Wait, are you not in a cell over there?
No, of course
Well,
not.
then come get me out of this one.
No, that also is not going to happen. So, look, if there is something I can do to help that does not involve me directly interacting with you from this point forward, I would vastly prefer to do that.
You could at least go find Bartholomew and tell him what you did, and tell him where it got me.
Yeah, I'll let him know that this happened. I'll give him a message. Yeah, if that's who you want me to track down.
I mean, who else would you try? Oh, I guess Adra's gotten out of jails before. I never asked her how, though, and now I'm really regretting that decision. I thought, oh, Ellori, you're never going to need to know how to escape a jail cell because you're never going to find yourself in jail because you're never going to do anything wrong because your grandma says that people who do things that are wrong are bad people and you'd never want to disappoint your grandma.
Well, you probably shouldn't have stolen all those documents from the Dowager then.
What documents?
These ones. And he, shuffles some papers.
Elton, I swear to the Green Man, if you do not march yourself up to the security desk and turn those in right now, I am going to be so furious and so disappointed in you.
Well, consider yourself disappointed, my dear. It has been a pleasure, and I really, really did like our time together. It was very sweet, and anyway, good luck. And then he goes silent.
Wow, Ellori, this is really something you've gotten yourself into, isn't it?
So, how are you going to pass the time here? Are you going to try? What are you going to try to do? Are you just going to stay in the cell? What is Ellori? I mean, what is Ellori going to do during this time frame? Because assume that you have an undetermined amount of time to be in here.
She is going to look outside the cell.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's anyone or anything that she can see or hear.
Sure. Some guards come by every half hour or so. They walk by.
Oh, hey, hello.
What do you want?
I would really love to talk to someone who could let me out of here.
Yeah, okay. We'll get right on that.
Or maybe you could give me a time frame. I've got a show opening tonight. I wrote it. It's the first play that I've ever written that's being performed for anyone besides my goat. And it's just really exciting to me and I would like to be there for it. And honestly, I didn't steal anything. I didn't do any. It was all, he says he's called the King of Thieves, which is really uninspired, but that's what he said. And I just, you're
going to blame, so you get caught somewhere you're not supposed to be. A bunch of things are missing from the room, and you're like, "Oh, the King of Thieves took them." You want to talk about uninspired?
It's a stupid name. It's what happened, and
that's the worst excuse I've ever heard, and I've heard some real bad excuses.
But maybe you could go talk to Bartholomew. It's not actually his name. You'll know who he is. He's the leader of the Mendicants. And he could tell you that he sent me off with someone. Did you talk to the front desk security guards? And they said I didn't come in alone, right?
Food in an hour, and he walks by. Outside the cell, there's a bench. Across from you, a lamp, like a lantern up on the wall. That is, it's burning. You know, they keep it lit down here, and they do in an hour bring you food. And it's not a hearty meal by any stretch, but it's, passable, especially since you're used to road food.
What is it served with? Utensils wise.
Yeah, they give you a wooden spoon.
Okay. Ellori is going to recall a traveling play she saw once. She's going to scooch the bed out a little bit. If Elton was talking to her through a little hole, she's going to try and like chip away at the hole to try and like chisel it and make it a little bit bigger. But she is going to do it with send my mage hand out in front to keep my real one safe and sound on my arms. So she's gonna give the mage hand the spoon, and she's gonna send that under the bed to like so she can just like sit. It's a cantrip.
Yeah, it's a cantrip. So like when it fades, you just like cast another one. You just like
Yep.
Yeah, and so it's trying to chip away, chip. And a couple hours pass. It's starting to get later in the day, like close to evening. You know the performance isn't that long away now, and you check on the progress of the mage hand, and it looks to have done a pretty decent job at chipping away about an inch of stone and mortar. When the doors to the basement burst open, and you hear what can only be described as a tirade as Adra pushes her way down in. I will see her this instant. This is absurd. The treatment, it is a rude treatment. And then one of the guards is like, "Ma'am, you need to call." He's like, "Do not touch me. Did you just touch me? I will take you to Verenian court. This is an outrage." She's just like tearing through the place, and like she literally comes down the hallway and like puts her hands on the bars, and the guards are behind her like, ma'am, and like trying to grab at her to pull away, and she's like, "Ellori," and she's like, "Ellori, this is what happened here. It's ridiculous." And you can see like sort of something in her mouth, and she's like, "Come here," and like she's holding the bars while they're still like trying to actively pull her away.
Ellori goes up,
and she like pushes out of her mouth just like a file that like clinks down, like, but she's covering for the sound and everything, and scatter like, and she's like, "This is I will get you out of here, Ellori. Not a second more. I will get you out." And she gets pulled away by the guards.
Okay. Ellori like freezes, and then she's gonna do a really like put her hands up on the bars and like move her mage hand to pick up the file. So like she's thinking she's being like so sneaky, but you know that like really obvious kind of sneaky because she's so bad at this.
Perfect.
And this is likely something that could chisel rock much faster.
You actually looking at, so give me so now that you see the tool, go ahead and give me a perception check, we'll say.
Come on.
Or maybe, yeah, that works. Perception's fine.
Okay. Come on, dice. I'm rolling like absolute ass. 9 plus 5, so 14.
Okay. So yeah, you do think that this would chip away at mortar much faster. This like small metal file be able to like get in there and jab in. You also notice that the hinges on the door seem to be, you wouldn't probably be able to get your hands out, but if you could somehow get access to the outside, you think you could get this in there and like pry pieces of the hinge apart from the outside.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna send the mage hand out to the outside and do that.
Yeah. So the mage hand starts to go to work on this. And I think probably like it's about halfway to a point where it's almost done on the first one, and you hear footsteps coming.
Oh, gosh. Halfway done on the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's just going to like pull it out and put it behind her back.
So the mage hand like pulls through and then like whips behind it. It's just like hanging out like a full hand on the back of your like the small of your back, just like waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's gonna move away from that part of the thing. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. The guard comes in.
Sit on the bed or whatever.
The guard comes in and he says, I know that there was some excitement here. We're not going to have that happen again. You understand?
No, I don't understand any of this.
I'm going to hold you accountable if I see that crazy psycho come in here again and try to attack us.
Okay.
He says, good. I'm glad we have an understanding. And he walks away.
Ellori really wanted to go into a deep troll on this guy about how applying those terms to a woman who's angry and in distress is really unacceptable, but she did not want him standing in a place any longer where he could potentially notice the work that she's done. So that was a really tough biting her tongue for her. I feel like she has definitely leveled up.
Is there just in her life, or is there something you're looking for at level 8 you don't currently have?
Oh no, I am playing this at level 1.
Oh.
There's nothing that Ellori has done on the road that maybe level 2.
Yeah.
But there's no way that she's.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll say, yeah, whatever it is you're thinking here, sure. You've empowered yourself slightly through this.
Cool.
All right, so what happens now?
Ellori is going to sit on. Oh, right. She's gonna try to finish the file. She's gonna finish busting the door open.
So you send it back out there, and it does pick away at it to the point where you now know, right? You can see that things have been removed. There's still some tension on it holding the door in place, but if you gave the door a shove, it would open up. It would just fall off the hinges, basically, and then would just be open.
Okay. She's gonna peek out the hallway.
Without pushing the door?
Yeah, she's gonna make sure it's clear.
Yeah, the hallway itself is clear. It does look like, trying to discern from the voices and what you can glance down the hallway. There looks to be about 3 guards in the room down the hall.
Okay. Ellori is going to turn her back on the door. She's gonna put her hands over her eyes. And she's gonna say, I know it was just a dream. But this would be so cool. Take a look for the invisible girl, made of flesh but quiet as air. If you're trying to catch her coming, she's not there.
Ellori turns invisible.
Yes! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Okay. She pushes the door open.
Okay, so you know that because of the way the door is, if you push it open, there's really no stopping it. It's big, it's heavy, and it's just going to topple over.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You push it, and it slams down into the ground with a clang. Where is Ellori positioning herself as the guards come bursting into the room?
She is going to stand right next to the. She's gonna stand in the cell as they come in, up against the bars.
Okay. Yeah, so they come charging into the hallway. What is going? And they see the door on the ground, and they look inside the cell, and they see nothing. And you can see the look of shock on their faces when this happens. They come running into the room, into the cell, and are frantically looking around, searching for you.
Do they not just
How did this? What is going? Oh my! How? They start yelling at each other you. What did you do? How did this happen? Blah blah blah. What are you doing while they're They're still in this space.
Okay, so if they're still in this space, Ellori kind of assumed they would run in, see she's gone, and try to chase her out or whatever. But since they don't automatically do that, If they're gonna stand there,
I think maybe one of them goes deeper in to see if you ran, like, if you came out of the cell and ran away from them.
okay.
So, like, one chases off that way. There's still two in here, like, looking around, trying to find how you got out.
She's gonna run out.
Okay, so what I need from you is a stealth check at advantage.
Okay. Okay. 16.
Okay. Yeah, you slip out past
The other
them.
one was a 2.
You slip out past the guards. They don't seem to notice, and you are now outside the cell. They are inside the cell, and you have a free shot toward the exit of this dungeon.
She is oh my gosh, she is having such a crisis because she knows that when she escapes, she has actually done something wrong. But she's gonna say to herself, Grandma, I'm so sorry. Please don't be too disappointed. I'm gonna figure it out. And then she runs out. She doesn't know how long this invisibility lasts, so.
Right. You step out into the next chamber, which is the little guard area. There's a little ledger and a desk and a chest where you're pretty sure they stowed all of your things. And then it just leads out up a staircase from there.
She's not going to get her things.
Okay. And you go running off up the stairs and just straight out of the palace, I assume.
Yeah.
And as you step out into the open air, you officially become Ellori, the criminal. Hey everyone, DM Anthony here, just reminding you that if you're enjoying the show, tell your friends, tell your family, let people know word of mouth, and you can support the show at patreon.com/adventureinc, or you can check out the shop at adventureincpod.com/shop. Make sure you check the show notes and the website for all our social media, including our Discord, where you can come and hang out with some great people. We'll see you there. And until next week, I wish you nothing but critical success.
Serious business.